Hi, this is Dreama, and today we are doing a client reading. And as always, I know the name of the client, and they know their name, but I won't be saying it in the video. Now, today we got a really large reading, so I may have to do half and then move the camera and do the other half. I've already laid the cards out ahead of time, just to save time because this is such a large reading. Now, we got a 6-question reading today, and how we're going to do it is the cards on this side will represent the first 3 questions, the ones on this side, the second 3, okay? So I'm going to start with question 1, the top 3, 2, the center, 3, the bottom, and then we'll work our way down, so forth, okay? Now, the first question the client has is, do they need to get an attorney to recover some funds that are owed to them? Now, rather than just do a yes or no answer, we're going to do it in this way just because we can get a better detailed look, okay? And we're going to say, what will happen if I get an attorney, okay? So we're going to use the first 3. We have the 8 of Pentacles, the 6 of Cups, and the Devil. Okay. Now, remember the question is, what will happen if I get an attorney to recover my funds? And the answer in this card actually is very interesting because if you notice the person is kind of looking at that 1 pentacle and there are all these pentacles above their head. So what that tells me is that if you had an attorney, it would focus all the direction on one thing, and that's the recovery of the funds. And all these pentacles above the head are kind of pushing down on this person's head. So what that tells me is that would put added pressure on the people to owe you money to give you the money. Okay, so it would be a good thing. All right, next we have the 6 of Cups. Now, that's an interesting card because this card, if you notice, there are 2 children. They're very happy. They're surrounded by flowers and cups, and it's just overall happiness and goodness. So what that tells me is if you do get an attorney, in the long run, it's going to make you much happier, and things are going to be much better for you. And then we have the Devil. Now, this card is interesting because at the bottom, there are 2 people that are chained together. And what I get from this card is that because of this problem with the money and the people that owe it to you, it's actually caused you to feel as though you were in bondage, as if they had some sort of hold over you. And there's a desire for you to break free of that bond and to break free of those chains. And that would be a good thing because that's something you want. And that's what would happen if you got an attorney, okay? Now we're going to move to the second question. And that question is, you'd like to know if you still have the opportunity to possibly file some litigation against these people and when. So let's see what the cards say. We have the Ace of Swords. We have the 10 of Swords. And we have the Knight of Pentacles. All right, I'm going to start with the Ace of Swords. Now, this is a very powerful card. And it's kind of a card about triumph. This tells me that if you were to file suit, you would be able to win. And as you can see, there are rays coming down from heaven. This card is about victory and triumph and things like that. So what that tells me is, yeah, you would have a very good chance of winning. Next, we have the 10 of Swords. Now, if you'll notice, there's a person on the ground and they've got all these swords in their back. So what that tells me is that, yes, you will be able to win in court, and you can file suit, but beware, there's going to be some people that want to stab you in the back. People that want to jump on this bandwagon, and they may stab you in the back, so be very careful of who you choose to help you with this, okay? And last, we have the Knight of Pentacles. And again, this is a very strong card. And this is a card also about victory and winning and things like that. So I really think that if you were to file suit, there's a very good possibility that you would win. Okay? All right, our next question is, how do I find an attorney to help me? Okay? We have the Page of Rods. And we have the 8 of Rods. And the 9 of Rods. Now, if you notice this card, the page is holding his hand to his face, almost like he's yelling, okay? what that tells me is that in order for you to find someone to help you, the best way is through word of mouth. Someone you know who may know someone. In that respect, that's the best way for you to find somebody that can help you. Okay? Next, we have the 8 of rods. Now, if you'll notice, all these rods are kind of coming down swiftly towards one side of the card. And what this tells me is that I really think that, you know, the person that's going to help you is, you know, going to be someone that, you know, is about giving. This person wants to help people. They're an honorable person. You know, almost as if they are throwing all these rods. They've helped a lot of other people. And this is where the word of mouth comes in, okay? The person that you need is someone that has helped other people many times over and over. And then we have the 9 of rods. Now, this is interesting because, you know, this card to me is, again, another card about success and victory. As you'll notice, they're holding one rod. The rest are surrounding them almost as a protection. So this person that you find needs to be someone that will protect you at all costs. Okay? All right, now we're going to move to the next 3 questions. And I'm actually just going to try to move the camera over some so that you're able to see those cards. Okay. Now, our next question is, will these regulators actually just return the funds without being asked? Okay. And we have the King of Swords and the Queen of Swords and the 3 of Swords. Okay. Now, when we have the King and the Queen are very strong, powerful cards. So what that tells me is that in order for your funds to be returned, there's going to be a man and a woman involved. Okay? They're going to be a very strong and powerful people. I don't know if they're going to be regulators. They may be judges, attorneys. I'm not sure. The cards aren't really saying. But without you asking, we're going to move to this card, the 3 of Swords. And this is a card about pain. So what that tells me is that no, they will not return your money without you asking. That's just not going to happen. These 2 powerful people will come into play in this situation, okay? But they will not return your money without asking. There's going to be a lot of pain involved in this for you, emotional pain, okay? And then you wanted to know if the company that you were working with, if they are financially in trouble, okay? All right, let's see what this is. And we have the Magician, King of Rods, and the 8 of Swords. Okay. Now, I'm going to start with the Magician. And remember, our question is the company that may owe you money. You want to know if they possibly have financial difficulties, if they could, you know, maybe go under or something like that. And what I get from the Magician, this card is a very kind of bright card, if you know what I mean. You know, it's a card about self-confidence, about someone that thinks a lot about themselves. They're very arrogant, okay? That's what it tells me, that this company and the people that run it are very arrogant, okay? Next, we have the King of Rods. And again, it's a really, really powerful card. And, you know, the King is a very strong card. But what I'm getting from this is that it's very dark. This company is very dark. There's a darkness within that is engulfing this company, okay? Just like the man in the card. He's a very strong and powerful man, but he's also very dark. There's a lot of secrets and things like that are going on. Now, next we have the 8 of Swords. Now this is interesting. You'll notice the person is blindfolded and tied to these swords and surrounded. So what that tells me is that they are in a situation where things are not good. They are trapped. This company is trapped, and many people that work there are blindfolded and don't see it. But actually, I do believe because of the arrogance, because of the darkness within, and because there are people there that are, the whole company is in bondage. So what that tells me is that there's just kind of enough money to keep going from week to week, and that could fall apart at any time, okay? All right, and the next question they have is there going to be a new job offer soon, okay? It's going to be our last one. And we have the Four of Rods, the Moon, and the Ace of Rods. Okay, well, let's start with the Ace. The Ace is a very powerful card. And what I'm getting from the Ace is that, this card is about money and fortune and, all the good things. It's about a new beginning, because I'm not sure if you can see, but there are flowers blooming up from the rod. So what I would say is that, yes, it does look like there is a job on the horizon for you. And it actually looks like a pretty good one. All right, next we have the Moon. And this is interesting too, because I'm not sure how well you can see, but there's some wolves and they're kind of howling up at the moon. And what that tells me is that I can see that you kind of feel as though you're just kind of, trying and no one's listening. And everything is really unstable in your life right now, okay? But I really think that because of this new beginning, that it's going to get better. It really is, okay? And then we have the Four of Rods. Now, that's interesting too. I'm not sure if you can see, but this is actually a very good card. There are a couple of children in there, and there are a lot of flowers and blooming rods. It's really a good card, okay? And what I'm getting from this is almost like a harmony, peaceful. Things are perfect in this card. There's the castle in the background. Everybody has flowers. There's an arch. Everything's blooming. Everything looks good. So that tells me that, yes, there will be a job for you in the future. However, I can see by the center card that you get discouraged sometimes and you feel like you're just doing this and no one's listening. But I do think because of these two cards that things will definitely get better for you and there will be an opportunity for a job, okay? All right, that does conclude my reading for today. And I would like to thank everyone for joining me. And I do hope to see you all again.